Hey, what's going on, y'all? Excuse me. Man, happy Sunday, y'all. It's been a minute. I think we haven't streamed in maybe about 3 or 4 weeks. It's definitely been a minute. Had things going on with the family. We had sports with the kiddos. Of course, we had Thanksgiving and just banquets. We had all type of stuff going on, y'all. But now all of that is starting to slow down, so we getting back into the groove, and I'm excited about this upcoming week. This upcoming week actually marks like the anniversary when I kind of started trading. I started trading back in 2020, and my first trade was actually taken on the Monday after Thanksgiving. So this always holds like a little special situation with me going into this area, knowing where I started and where I am now. But hey Ish, what's going on, man? We got some great opportunities going on this week. Getting ready to close out the month of November, going into our last month. So we just want to be mindful of what's going on. If you guys have any pairs that you'd like to see marked up, please put them in the chat. I'd be happy to get to them. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and get started. Y'all know how we do. We always start off with a word of prayer. We're going to holler at our news, and then we're going to get into some charts. Okay, so let's go ahead and do it. Dear Heavenly Father, I want to thank you for this day, Lord. I want to thank you for life, health, and strength. I want to thank you for any and everybody that's under the sound of my voice, anybody that's affiliated with the Pips Academy. I pray that this particular channel will continue to be a resource and continue to add value to those who engages with it. I pray that anybody that's trading this week, that they're more profitable than they were last week. I pray that they have confidence, patience, and most of all, they stick to their trading plan. Lord, continue to protect everyone that's involved with this particular channel. Continue to allow them to learn more, be confident, and I pray that this tool of Forex would allow somebody to become financially free. And Lord, we ask these things in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. So, let's go ahead and start with our news. So, tomorrow, we have President Lagarde speaking, so that's going to affect the euro. Okay, and then we also at 9 o'clock we have new home sales dealing with the U.S. And so, Prince, what's going on, my man? Later on that night we have AUD popping off with Governor Bullock speaking, and so that's during our Asian session tomorrow night around 9:18. A lot of times I don't really trade the Asian session like that. I'm more of a New York session type of dude. So for those who are trading anything AUD or even gold, Australia is a big importer of gold. So gold will be affected probably at that time tomorrow. So just be mindful of that. Going into Tuesday, we have some CPI on AUD. We have some USD news popping off at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 9:05. We have FOMC with Waller speaking at 9:05, so we should see some movement on the US dollar on Tuesday. So let's be mindful of that. That night we have NZD popping off during our Asian session, so we should see a lot of fireworks, especially for those who trade NZD Chef. That's one of the pairs that we trade. I haven't traded in a while because it haven't really been giving me any structure that I like, but I'll take a look at it today. Wednesday we got the euro popping off for our London session, as well as USD popping off during 7:30 that morning. We have the British pound around 9 a.m. and we also have the Chinese yuan around our Asian session. Going into Thursday, it looked like a euro day on Thursday. We have euro during we have CPI on the euro during our London session. We have OPEC all day. Let's actually take a look at that. I'm not that familiar with this. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Okay. So for those who are going to be trading oil, things like that, this might also affect gold in a way as well. But any of those indices and things like that, metals, oil, all of that type of thing. We will see some movement on that on Thursday. Okay. 7:30 that morning, we have the Canadian dollar, have GDP, the gross domestic product, which comes out at that time. And we also have price index on USD and unemployment claims. Okay. We also got some home sales that day on USD as well. And then ending it off this Friday, even though it's the first Friday of the month, it's not a full week, but we're still gonna see a lot of fireworks on this particular day. As you guys can see, that this Friday is not NFP. So they're gonna celebrate NFP on the next week, because what they usually like to do is have a full week in that month, and then that first Friday will be NFP. But we can see that we got Canadian dollar, employment claims and unemployment rates, and then we also got USD that's going to close it out at 9 and 10 a.m. And we see that we have Chairman Powell speaking, and whenever he speaks, we all know that there's a lot of movement on the US dollar. So let's be mindful of that. We got some great opportunities going into the week. All right. So let's go ahead and start it off, you guys. Let's go ahead and kick it off with Euro USD. All right, so if we're looking at the daily on this particular pair, we can see that some time ago we had a break of structure on this particular pair. Okay, we had higher high, higher low, higher high, break of structure, and prices actually starting to retest, which we've already kind of made it within our golden zone of our daily. Okay, so for me, price probably come up a little bit higher. Let me make this a little bigger so you guys can see it. Okay, so price could come up a little bit higher, tap into the supply zone, and then decline. Ultimately, I'm looking for price to take out these lows here. So I'm looking for, over time, within the next couple of weeks or so, I'm looking for price to start declining. Okay, but let's go ahead and look at our 4-hour time frame and actually see what we can see currently right now. All right, so on our 4-hour structure is still currently bullish. Okay, right now, let me kind of move our daily out the way. Right now, price has come up, it's tapped into this supply zone here. Actually, let me mark that on there so we can see it. It's tapped into the supply zone. And so one of the things that we can do, we can either break this high and continue our bullish run, or we can go ahead and drop to the top side and maybe possibly begin our descent. Okay, so let's go to the 15-minute just to see the structure and see what we have, what we're working with. Because for those that are new, that's the structure that we actually like to trade from. So right now on a 15-minute time frame, we can see that we're bullish as well. Okay, and this here being our strong protected low, and this being our weak high here. Okay, so if price breaks this area here, one of the things that we'll be looking for is break of structure, retest, and then we can go down to possibly trade as price is going to the downside. Okay, so one of the things that we will do is we'll add an alert here. That way everybody can get it within our trading view, and everybody can pretty much get those alerts. And we'll know when we get that break of structure on the euro. Okay, so let's go ahead and mark that up, get that going. Okay, so that'll let us know that we have a break of structure on the euro, and that way we can be mindful and say, okay, we know that we're going down to that area there. We can be mindful and make sure that we govern ourselves accordingly, and we can trade it. Let me see. Okay, we got everything set up like we need it. Okay, so for the euro, like right now, we're still bullish on the 4-hour and the 15. Okay, so I'm looking for the 15 to possibly break structure and go to the downside. Ted, good afternoon. Do you trade supply and demand? What's going on, Ted? Yes, supply and demand is huge. That's a big part of how we trade. So most of everything that you see is going to be related to demand and supply zones according to how we trade. Okay, also additionally, right now there is a demand zone here on our 15-minute. time frame. So, you know, price can continue on this bullish run. It can come down here, tap into this area and continue to the upside. We'll just be patient. We'll also put an alert here. That way we can understand and know if price wants to continue bullish. Okay. EU breaks 15-minute strong high. We'll say strong high. No, weak high. That's it. Weak high. All right. And from there, we'll make sure that this goes into our Discord. All right. All right, cool. So that's pretty much what I have on EU. Let's go ahead and move to the next one. Let's look at USD CAD. All right. So looking at USD CAD, you guys, this is our daily right here. That way we can understand and see the big picture and where, you know, USD CAD is possibly trying to go. So one of the things that we can see, USD CAD was bullish. Higher high, higher low, higher high. Currently right now, we're in a retracement phase. Price tapped off of this daily demand here. And we can see we have a little bit of rejection, okay? One of the things that we notice that it has tapped into our golden zone. So we are in premium pricing right now as far as our daily. A couple of confluences that we can see. Price tapped into this area, but we also have a bearish, bullish, bearish. If those who don't know about this type of supply zone, this is a continuation, okay? Which means that price can possibly come back up here, tap into this area, and then continue to the downside, okay? So we do have a continuation pattern that printed. So we just want to see exactly what price is going to do, because what price possibly can do, it can break structure here on the daily, give us a retest, and then continue to the downside. Or price can come down here, tap into this demand zone, you know, maybe give us a break of structure retest and maybe continue to the upside. We don't know, but however it plays into our strategy, we'll just trade it. Okay. So let's look at the 4-hour time frame. Let me kind of remove the daily right quick. Okay. So looking at our 4-hour, kind of get this out the way. And we're gonna kind of, because I didn't mark this all the way up, but let's look at it. Okay. So one of the things we can see, we have higher high, higher low, higher high. Price broke structure, gave us a retest, okay, which tapped into this 4-hour supply here. And now price has came down and broken this low. All right. So from a 4-hour perspective, we're currently bearish. All right. So let's go ahead and mark our 4-hour structural points. This being our 4-hour high here. We have a low here. We also have a high right here. Okay. So currently right now, if we're looking at our 4-hour structure, this is our 4-hour strong high right here. Okay. Let's make sure price broke this low, which it did. Okay. So that's what we're looking at. We don't have a confirmed lower low as of yet until we see price start to pull back in this area like this. Once it pull back in this area, then we can confirm that it's our lower low. Okay, because right now price can kind of come a little bit lower if it wants to. All right. So let's look at our 15-minute structure and see what we have that we can kind of play within. Okay. So if we're looking at the 15-minute time frame, we can see that we're bearish as well. Let me kind of remove this right quick so that don't confuse us. So right now, if we're looking at our 15-minute, we can see that it's bearish as well. Lower low, lower high, lower low. All right, let's make this a little bigger so we can actually see what's on the charts. So one of the things that we can see is we have a supply zone here, 15-minute, which is a bearish, bullish, bearish continuation. Okay. 15-minute supply here. And we also have another supply in this area here. Okay, so one of the things that we can possibly see is for price to come up here, tap into this area, maybe continue lower, or price can come up, tap into this area, and then continue lower. Either one, you know, we'll be mindful of whichever one happens, but let's not negate this one as well. We do have a supply zone here as well. Okay. Right now we're only really looking for sales, and so for me though, I'm kind of hands off of this pair until I get a break of structure on a 15-minute, and I'll tell you guys why. On the 4-hour, we can see that we broke our 4-hour low in this area here. So right now, I don't know what price wants to do. I don't know if it wants to continue lower, if it wants to turn around. I don't know. But my confirmation for that is it needs to break. It needs to break this high here. If I get a break of structure on a 15-minute, now I can turn around and say, okay, now I'll look to trade this, because right now it's kind of in no man's land and price could continue to the downside. It can do whatever it wants to do. So for me, this particular pair is hands off until I get this break of structure, like I said. USD, CAD, 15-minute, BOS. Okay. And I'll put this in our chat as well, because right now this is really high risk to trade. Now if price breaks this area here, okay, cool, now we can move our structural point down. But for me, like I said, this pair is totally off limits until I get a 15-minute break of structure. That will give me comfort to let me know that price wants to turn around and possibly get into that retracement phase of the 4-hour. But until that time, this can be like fake out city, and you can literally get blasted trying to trade this because of where it's positioned on the 4-hour. Okay. All right, but that's pretty much what I have for this particular pair. Like I said, it's hands off for me. I'll come back and look at it tomorrow, but this is probably one of the pairs right now that I probably won't touch. Okay, so let's look at GU. All right. So if we're looking at GU, one of the things that we can see is that GU is definitely bullish. Okay, definitely bullish. We can see we got higher high. Well, price came down, gave us a break of structure, retest. From there, we got higher high, higher low, and we don't necessarily have another higher high yet on the daily. And some may say, well, price came up here and it pulled back. Well, actually it didn't, because if you look at this one candle here, this candle here has a small wick up here, which is giving us all of this structure right here on the daily. This little complex move here, it never broke outside of this candle's range. Okay, so right now, this is our daily low. This is our last high here. So we have to wait for a pullback. Once we get that pullback, then we can say, okay, cool. Now we have structure on the daily. Okay, we don't have to necessarily worry about this candle now. We're worrying about this candle. We need at least a 2-candle pullback outside of this candle structure here to let us know that, okay, it's a valid pullback. Okay, so with that being said, let's move on to our 4-hour structure. Okay, and I hope that made sense to some of you guys. If it didn't, just let me know. All right, so looking at our 4-hour time frame, okay, we can see that we are bullish on the 4-hour time frame. We can see that we tapped into a daily supply in this area here, and we can see price came up in this area here, broke this high here. And so one of the things that we want to see is for price to possibly pull back tap into this demand zone or maybe come a little bit lower and continue to the upside. Okay, but at any rate, price can start to give us that pullback in this retracement phase of our 4 hour. Okay, let's go ahead and drop to our 15 minute and see what we got. Okay, so on the 15 minute time frame, we can see our structure here. Okay, we got higher high, higher low, higher high in this area here. So what we want to see is for price to possibly pull back. You know, it can tap into this demand zone here on the 15 minute. Okay, or it can continue higher. If it continue higher, then we know that price wants to, you know, continue on its bullish streak. For me, let me see something. I would like to see price kind of break this structure, and then from there we can say, all right, give us a retest, and then we can kind of go ahead and do our retracement phase. But, you know, honestly, if it went a little bit higher, I'll be happy with that, because as you can see, this is a huge area to, you know, kind of cover as far as our 15 minute time frame. I would like to see price come up a little bit higher, give us a breaker structure retest up here, and then we can kind of ride price down to this area here. Okay, but however, we just got to be mindful, see what price is going to do, and then we can kind of govern ourselves accordingly. All right, right now, you know, with a lot of liquidity being taken on Fridays and things like that, you know, we got to wait for the market to kind of settle. You know, right now it's literally just a waiting game. That's why we like to set our alerts, you know, during our weekly analysis, and then we just wait. We know what we're looking for. We literally just wait. We don't have to babysit the market all day and things like that. Set our alerts, go about our business. When the alerts get triggered, then we go back, look at price, and see exactly what's going on. Okay. For me, one of the things I'm going to probably do is set an alert when price actually hits this demand level down here. GBP, I'm gonna say GU taps 15 minute demand. Okay. That way we'll know and understand when price gets down to this area. Because if it gets down to this area and we get let's just say if price come down to this area here, okay? Let's say it's trickling on down, hit this area, and then on the 5 minute or the 1 minute, it give us a break of structure, something like this. Make this bigger. Uh-oh. Let's say it gives us, you know, this break of structure right here, and then it decides to give us a retest, taps into some demand level here. If that's the case, you know, I'm hitting up an entry right up in this area here. I might cover this swing low here, and then I'm riding it all the way up to this area here. Okay, I could cover this area here, but I'd be a lot more comfortable to cover my 15 minute low if it does do something like that. And that's within my risk parameters. That's a 1 to 3, 4 risk reward. And so if something like this happens, I'll be happy with taking this type of trade. Okay. But right now, I'm just going to be patient, and we're going to see exactly what the market gives us. So I'm going to keep my alert right there. You know what? Let me look at the overall structure again. If it come down to this area, you know what? No, I wouldn't take that trade right away like that. I wouldn't take that trade right away. I would wait for a break of structure on this, because I would just be patient with this, because if price came down to this area and it's giving me those retests, starting to decline on that 4 hour, we still got a lot of way to go that we're trying to make it down to. So being that it might give us a little small break of structure, this could be a fake out. It can come up here, then it can break through, things like that, just to get down to this area. So for me, I have to get that break of structure on this particular pair as well. Okay. So like I said, with GU as well, it's pretty much just a waiting game. All right, let's go over to gold. Let's look at that golden girl. Also, I want to make sure if there's any pairs that you guys would like to see marked up, please add them in the chat and I'll be happy to get to them. Okay, because I want to make sure that I get to any pairs that you guys are looking at as well. If any of you guys are not looking at EU, USD CAD, GU, gold, or NZD Chef, any of those, if you're not looking at them and you want to see another pair marked up, put it in the chat and I'll get to it for you. All right, so now let's look at gold. Let's look at the golden girl. This pair right now is bullish. Okay, and so one of the things that we can see with this particular pair, we can see that we broke structure here on the daily. Price came up, gave us a retest. It didn't necessarily get down here to the golden zone like we would like it to, but we can see price is giving us a nice bullish rally. Okay, and so if price breaks this high here, if it breaks that high and it closes above, we could potentially see gold reach all the way back up to our all-time high and possibly take out the liquidity in this area here. Okay, it could possibly take out this high here if it gets up to that area. All right, we don't know. We just got to be patient and see what gold wants to do. All right, but like I said, it has to break this. It has to close. For me, I need to see a body close above this candle here, above this level, before I consider this thing going all the way up to the high heavens. Okay. All right, but let's go ahead and look at our 4-hour time frame. US 30, I got you covered. Ted, I got you covered. All right, 4-hour. So as we can see on the 4-hour time frame, we're bullish. We broke past the 2000 mark. We can see we got body closures above that. We got 2 candles that closed above the 2000 mark. So basically, when price gave us our rally here, price came down, retested this demand zone here, and then it broke back through. So I believe that price will possibly break this high and continue its run to the top. However, if it doesn't, if it fails to kind of break above this area, then we can see a nice retracement on our 4-hour time frame. And so if we utilize our fibs, for our golden zone, let's see, this is the 4-hour. So if we utilize our fibs, we can see that price pretty much almost came into this area. I mean, it pretty much got there to the 50 and then wicked actually, but I mean, it got all the way down there. You know, it tapped into this demand zone here, and then price decided to kind of, you know, impulse away and kind of just give it this rally to the upside. So right now, I just want to see what price is going to do. It's a waiting game for this as well. So if we go to the 15-minute and we look at this thing, we got a lot of stuff going on over here. Let me kind of remove our 4-hour right quick. And I'm going to add our 15-minute structure on here because I have not done that yet. So for me, we got a low here. We got a high. All right. So right now, our 15-minute structure is like so. This is our 15-minute protected low here. And this is our 15-minute high here. Weak high. All right. So this is the structure that we're playing in between here on our 15-minute time frame. Okay, it's huge, it's massive. Okay, so until we get a breakup structure here, I won't be necessarily looking for any sales. Let me see, go 15-minute BOS. Okay, so right now we're bullish, and so one of the things that we can see is price tapped into this demand level here. We also had an imbalance down here. Price came down, tapped into this area, and as you guys can see, let's drop it to the 5-minute right quick. So on a 15-minute time frame, we got our retracement. What do we get? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. This is all on a 5-minute. We got a breakup structure right here on the 5-minute. Okay, price came all the way around, gave us a retest into this area here. Got demand level right up in this area here. Okay, price gave us the retest, and then price decided to give us that rally. Okay, so right now I'm still looking for buys on gold. Okay, I think price would actually get up there and kind of break that area, but as we can see on the 15-minute, we've already given a 15-minute retracement. I'm just waiting for it to kind of take out this high here and then kind of do what it does. Okay, so we just want to be patient with this particular pair, see exactly what it's going to do. I do want to see it, like I say, break this high here. Gold breaks 15-minute week high. Set an alert for that. And then we also have our alert down here if it breaks structure. So either way, it'll alert us and let us know where we are within the market, where price is within the market at all times. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're looking at with gold. Most of these pairs right now is a waiting game until price comes back and gives us clean structure and an opportunity for entry. Okay, all right, let's look at US 30, you guys. Let's see what US 30 is doing. I'm gonna remove a lot. We're gonna mark this up from scratch, y'all. We're gonna mark all this up from scratch. 15-minute structure, I'm deleting that. 4-hour structure, I'm deleting that. Yeah, we're gonna mark this whole thing up from scratch. All right. All right, so let's check it out. So right now on this particular pair, from a daily perspective, it was bearish, and we can see that it broke structure. Okay, so if we're looking at current structure right here on the daily, we can see lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, breaker structure right here. Really clean structure too. Nothing too complicated, none of that. So we're gonna go ahead and mark up our daily structure first. Keep it real simple. This is our breaker structure right here on the daily. We got this one, and we got this one right here. Okay, there we go. Lower low, lower high, lower low, breaker structure. All right, so now a couple things that we can see within this huge leg of structure is, it's a long way to come down, but we do have a couple of things that we can note. We have a daily demand here. We have a daily demand here as well. Okay, and we also have a couple demand levels here. We have a continuation here, bullish, bearish, bullish, which hasn't been mitigated yet. Okay, we got a daily demand here. This is the closest one that I can see. All right, so now since we have all of our daily areas on, I'm gonna make all this into a folder. That way it's easily for me to kind of manage and kind of remove it off the screen if I need to. All right, daily structure. Okay, now let's go to the 4 hour. All right, and I'm gonna remove my daily structure for a minute. I'm gonna hide it. So now from a 4 hour perspective, let's look and see what we have. Let's kind of look at price kind of closest to where we are. All right, so a lot of this is almost kind of sort of like run-on pricing. And I say that because there's not any like real clean structure within this. Like price is literally just going. If we come up here, you know, this is the lowest point here, which we can see that this candle never really broke outside of this. It's still like within this. I would like to see another candle break below this. Okay, so this is all kind of like run-on type structure. So our 4 hour structure is really huge. And so our 4 hour structure would actually be here. And this point here for right now. That's closest to price. But we'll be able to kind of sort of capitalize off our 15-minute structure because this is so huge. It's our 4 hour low right there in that area. Okay. So 4 hour structure looks a little weird, but we'll work with it. H4 structure. Now let's go to our 15-minute, see what we can see. Pretty sure we'll find some structure here that's close. We can see that it's bullish as well. Okay, I want to make this bigger so you guys can see it. So we'll start with our highest point, which is this one here. All right, this is our high. Got a lower low. I'm sorry, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. As far as I'm gonna go back. Okay. That way we can see our structure. Here. This is our 15-minute low here. And we also got a 15-minute high in this area right here. Okay, so this is our 15-minute structure. Go ahead and put all of this in a folder as well. And 15 structure. All right, so now we got our structures. We got our daily, 4 hour, 15-minute. All right, so now one of the things that we can see on this 15-minute time frame, we had a demand level here. We can see that price came up, tapped into this demand level, came up, gave us a bullish, bearish, bullish continuation here. Okay, another 15-minute demand level here, and price is starting to rally to break out these highs. Okay, we got a wick above these highs, but we never really broke structure as of yet. Okay, so one of the things that I can see possibly happening with this pair, price can come back down, tap into this, and then continue a little bit higher, as if it wants to do that. And right now we are really high on that 4 hour structure, and so we're due for a pullback. Okay, if price comes and closes, give us a candle closure above this area, above this area here, then we'll move our structural point here for our 15-minute time frame. And then what I'll be looking for is for price to break structure, retest, and then continue to the downside. Because like I said, we have a lot of room to go as far as sales right now with US 30. Okay, Another thing that we can see as well on a 4-hour time frame, we have a bullish, bearish, bullish, which is another continuation. Okay. So with that being said, hold on, let me move this within this 15 minute and hide that. With that being said, price can definitely, tap into that area and still continue to the upside. It can do that, because if we go back to our daily as well, we got, it can come a little lower, because right here, this is our daily continuation. I believe this was our bullish, bearish, bullish for the daily, which is a continuation. So price, it could break through this one and come down and tap into this one and continue to the upside. We don't know. Bullish, bearish, bullish. We just want to be mindful of what price is going to do, because US 30, you got to be careful with this particular pair, because it can blast you out if you're not careful. But right now, that's the structure that we see. This is our 15-minute structure, and we just got to govern ourselves accordingly. I'll go ahead and put an alert on here. US 30 15-minute BOS. Okay. And I'll make sure this goes into our Discord channel. That way, when this happens, we'll know that it happened. Okay, US 30. And that's pretty much the structure that we have for US 30. Like I said, let me go back to the daily as well. Like, look at all of this. It's a huge rally to the upside. Huge rally. There's no clean supply zones or anything in this area. I mean, we do have this supply zone here that was already mitigated, but it can get mitigated again too. But if we look at it, it was a huge push to the upside. We took out 1, 2, 3 short-term highs. We took out 3 of them. And so with that being said, we got a lot of imbalances, unhealthy price action. All of this stuff needs to be accounted for. These are unfulfilled orders. So we're looking for price to come back, possibly tap into this, maybe go to the upside, because like I said, we had this breaker structure here, but it was a small pullback. I don't really like it, but like I said, I would like to see price go a little bit lower, because it's due for that pullback. Okay. Do you guys have any other pairs or anything you like to look at while we're still on here? Uh-oh. Or even if you guys have any questions or anything like that, I'll be happy to get to them. Because we went through everything a little fast today. We still got about 15 minutes. AU? Okay. Ish, we went over USD CAD, but I can go over it again. But right now, let's look at AU. Move this out the way. Actually, I'm gonna put that back on there. All right, so AU. All right, I don't even think I got no daily structure on this one. All right, so here go another one that we're gonna mark up from scratch. Okay. So let's look at AU. You know what? Before I go to the daily, I want to look at the weekly for a second. Okay. Weekly is bearish. All right. All right. That's cool. All right. So let's look at this daily. So right now the daily, it broke structure and we're moving to the upside. Okay, so let's look at it like this. Let's find our structure for our daily right quick. So this is our low right here on the daily. Okay, so we had, let's see, our low. This was our breaker structure right in this area here. And I'll tell you guys why. This is our daily breaker structure right here. So some of us may look at this and say, you know, lower low, lower high, lower low, but that's not the case, because if you look at this in this area here, this low here, all we got is wicks. We never got any body closures in this area. Okay, so we can take it and we can look at this as this is one big leg of structure. We can say, let's just say from here, lower low, lower high, lower low here. Okay, all this here is noise. That's all noise in that area. Price came up, give us a body closure above there, retested into this demand zone here. Okay, so as we can see from a daily perspective, price tapped into this daily continuation, this bullish, bearish, bullish here, and then price rallied to the upside. All right, so right now, as far as our daily structure, we got this here and this here. Uh-oh. All right, that's our daily structure. Now we're, excuse me, possibly looking for a pullback or something like that. All right. I see this demand level right here. But for me, because I see this imbalance, I'm gonna say my daily demand, I'm gonna cover this entire area right here. Just for my sanity, just for me to, you know, whatever. Another thing that we can see is we got a daily demand here, and this demand led to the break of this high here. So for me, this is a pretty significant demand zone in this area right here. All right, so now that we have our daily structure on here, let's go ahead and folder that up. Daily structure. All right, cool. And hey, you guys, I hope this makes sense, the stuff that I'm doing and how I'm actually finding my structure and all of that kind of thing. So I'm just going down the time frames to look at my structure, see exactly where price is within the market. That way, you know, I can pretty much dissect that particular pair and see exactly where we are in the market. Because, you know, every strategy is not perfect, but if we can put, you know, really kind of dissect it and do our analysis, we can really maximize our chances of winning every time we take a trade. And so I'm pretty sure, like all of you guys, no one likes to lose. So I try to break this down as much as possible, literally trying to follow my strategy and my trading plan. That way it can help me maximize the you know, the greatest potential to actually catch trades. All right, so from the 4-hour time frame, we got higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and then we're looking to kind of break this area up here. So we're gonna go ahead and mark this up. Bam. We got bam. We got bam. All right, so that's our 4-hour structure right there. Okay. Put this up here. Wait a minute, Did it break already? Oh no, it didn't. Okay. This is our 4-hour week high. This is our low here. Strong low. All right. So now on a 4-hour time frame, let me kind of remove this daily structure. Copy all my 4-hour stuff. Well, before I do that, let me add my demand zones and stuff. We got a 4-hour demand zone here, which is the closest to price. And so one of the things, you guys, because I only got wicks above this area, I want to see price come a little bit higher. I want to see it literally take out this liquidity here. I mean, it's come up to this area, but I want to see body closures above this area. Okay. I want to see body closures come above here, maybe tap into this bank level to 0.66,000. This is a significant area. So like if I come to the weekly, we can see there's a lot of respect in this area. Here, price broke down, came back up, tapped into it again, and did some other things. Okay, so this is a really, really significant area that is respected in the past. So I want to see if price can actually come back up to that area, maybe tap into it, and then give us some sort of decline or something like that. Okay, but in the meantime, I want to be patient with this pair and see exactly what it's going to do. Let's look at the 15-minute and see what kind of structure we have. Let me see, do I got some 15-minute markups on here? I do not. All right, so let's look at the 15-minute right quick, y'all. All right, we're gonna mark up our 15-minute structure. I'm not gonna say this is a low because it's all kind of encapsulated within this candle here. So I'm gonna come down to here, and here. All right. Wait a minute. Nope. This one is gonna come down here. And wait a minute, let me see something. I'll take this and move this right here. We might need to adjust this structure a bit. Uh-oh. All right, we got higher high, higher low. Yeah, that's right. This is the next area right here. Bam. Bam. All right. That's our structure. Okay. Right there. So 15-minute wise, this is our protected low. This is our protected high in this area right here. Okay. Weak high. All right, so this is our 15-minute structure. Let me go ahead and remove our 4-hour. Oh crap, man, I didn't even put all this 4-hour in nothing right quick. Hold on. All this 4 hours in my way. What is this stuff? Wait a minute. Let me delete this and all of this stuff. It's 4 hour. There we go. H4 structure. All right, move my 4-hour structure out the way. Do my 15-minute structure. Right there. Bam. All right. Now we golden. Okay. Well, not this. There we go. Okay. And that's what we have, you guys. Move this over a little bit more so we'll see it. And that's what we have as far as our structure on AU. One of the things we want to see is, like I said, I want to see price go a little bit higher. 15-minute demand level. And I'm also going to add a break of structure here. AU 15-minute BOS. And remember, we have AUD news tomorrow night. Okay, so let's be mindful of that. And being that this particular pair, I feel like it's bearish. No, I'm sorry, it's bullish. This particular pair is bullish right now. Daily structure is bullish. So I do want to see price give us a retracement though. But we have a lot of AUD news this week. And so we just need to be mindful of what's going on with news and where we are within the market at all times. Okay. I'll go back over a USD CAD right quick and then we'll go ahead and shut it down. 15-minute H4. Let's go to our daily right quick. Oh, hold on. Copy these over. H4. All right, y'all. So when we're looking at our daily on USD CAD, I'm gonna run over this one pretty quick. We are still bullish, and we can see that price came down, tapped into this daily demand level. One of the things we also got as well is a bearish continuation. So one of the things we could see is for price to tap into this area and possibly continue all the way down to this demand level down here. However, right now, currently, we are tapping into a demand level where we are within our premium zone of USD CAD. So we could also see, you know, price kind of break through this area and continue to kind of take out this high up in this area here. Okay. If we drop down to our 4-hour time frame, we can see that we are bullish on our 4-hour time frame. Okay. We got lower low, lower high, and lower low. Now, one of the things, we're tapping into a daily demand here, but one of the things though, because we just broke our 4-hour low, to me, in my opinion, we're too close for us to really take anything. And so this is a super high risk area until we get a 15-minute break of structure. Okay. Right now, the 15-minute structure is all the way up in this area here, which is also, you know, right aligned with our daily bearish, bullish, bearish. Let me put that on there. Bearish, bullish, bearish. Okay. So we want to be mindful of that. So for me, I'm still looking for the price to probably get a little bit lower. But if it does break structure here and give us a retest, and then we can look to continue structure all the way to the upside, possibly on the daily. But we still need to be mindful though, because the H4 is bearish, and because it's bearish, if it breaks the structure, it could be coming up to a 4-hour golden zone and then tap into the downside. But I want to be a little bit more patient on this pair. I would like to see it get lower and then possibly give us a break of structure and ride it to the upside. Okay. Hey, you guys, I want to thank y'all for rocking with me. I'm going to be super active within our Discord chat this week. I'll be mindful of the news. If y'all have any questions, hit me up in the chat and I'll be happy to answer any questions y'all have. Until then, hey, y'all have a great weekend and I'll chat with y'all this week.